Hello, welcome to Ascension Arcana Tarot. This is Christine with a random reading. We have a full moon here. It is the beaver moon in the sign of Taurus. So I thought I would do a reading on it and see what we come up with for the energy here. Actually, I was really curious. I know the meanings of some of the moons, but I had no idea the meaning of the beaver moon. So I looked it up and it said that it's the time of year when the beavers have like gathered all of their provisions and they kind of retreat into their lodges for the winter. And I thought that energy, when I read that, just made me feel so cozy. It's like time to cozy up with like a good book or a movie and like some warm blankets and just kind of have like that introspective, kind of inward facing time of the year. It felt really cool to me. So as always, this is a general collective reading, so please take what resonates and leave the rest behind. So God, what do you want us to know here about the energy of this beaver full moon in Taurus? That's funny. It's a moon reading and the sun came out as our first card. And the Magician, that's powerful. I like that. So right off the bat, we have two really big major arcana cards. Oh man, the Sun and the Magician. Ooh, that vibe is like, I don't even know how to describe that. It's resonating in my heart like really nicely. It feels good. The Magician, this is really funny. I was just talking to my friend about how I was seeing her as kind of like a comet flying through the sky. And that's what this wand is reminding me of. The Magician, I feel as you. Sort of growing into your power, claiming your power, recognizing your power, recognizing that you are a powerful manifester. My spiritual teachers always say, like, as well as Abraham Hicks, right? It's like a kind of common theme in manifestation, I guess, of like, you are the creator of your reality. And that's what I'm getting from this Magician card. So you kind of recognizing like, whoa, what? I create my own reality, and kind of growing into that space as a spiritual being, gaining practice, gaining mastery, right? Trying different things out, different manifestations out, failing, succeeding, like seeing kind of what doesn't work for you and what does work for you. And the Sun, I feel, is just this joyful card of success. That's like all I'm feeling from this card is just the warm glow. It's funny because I had talked about the beavers, right? And being like cozy in their little den, or I was saying like get like cozy blankets, watch a movie, read a book. Like it's that warm, cozy, like safe, peaceful, happy feeling that I'm getting from the Sun. I've been doing some spiritual work and my heart chakra is like really activated. I feel like in a really good way, but it's feeling very sensitive. I'm really feeling this energy very strongly. It's beautiful. This is a beautiful energy of you creating something incredible, having a huge success, a huge victory, freedom, growth, big transformation. I feel that's not typically an answer. It's not typically an energy that I feel from the Sun card, but in this one with the butterfly here, it feels like transformation. This is funny. This card was at the bottom of the deck when we started. I noticed the little moon, but I didn't really feel called to read the bottom of the deck. But as I was just shuffling, I noticed the moon again. So I feel like this card wants to be seen. It's the Seven of Pentacles here. I'm drawn to the butterflies since I was literally just talking about them. The Seven of Pentacles is a card of divine timing, and it can be a card with a feeling of waiting. I'm always drawn on this one to like these flying horses. She's sort of looking up towards them. Maybe feeling like opportunities are passing you by or you're going to like miss something. But these pentacles right here, in front of her, like that's her harvest that she's growing, right? It feels like a card of gratitude. Like she's kind of fixated on what she's afraid that she's missing. And, instead she's kind of missing out on like what's right in front of her. So I don't know if that will resonate for folks in this collective, but if you have a gratitude practice, really making sure that you're doing that, especially with like Thanksgiving coming up, right? Literally the holiday of like saying what you're thankful for. I guess minus all of the not so great cultural pieces, like, right, historically of what actually happened in the holiday. So don't take that lightly at all, but just the energy of what the holiday sort of represents on like a light, broad societal scale is what I'm talking about. Taking that day of gratitude, right? Saying the things that you're grateful for. That's funny. I love that. Speaking of being grateful, these beautiful friends in this card, like uplifting their joy. I love that. That's really lovely. I feel like that's reinforcing the gratitude that I was just getting from that Seven of Pentacles, is like, you have so much to be grateful for. These beautiful friendships, the love and emotions, these two just like jumped in my hand. The love and emotions that are filling those cups. That's really lovely. I'm having one of those, actually, it's kind of a funny reading. There's some that are flipping over in the deck and some that are jumping out. Death card. Ooh, 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 ooh. I love the Phoenix rising on that. That is so lovely. Wow, that's really beautiful. And the death energy has like this white kind of light in its hand. That's really beautiful. I'm feeling like, how cool. Wow. This is some neat energy. Okay. I'm feeling like the death card is calling for the ending of like a phase in your life where maybe you have not been growing. I'm really drawn to like this Sun and Magician energy. Feels to me like a very growth oriented, like glow up energy, right? Like whoever is in this collective, in this Magician and Sun energy, like you've done a lot of inner work to get to this point. I feel like the Death card as really that transformation energy, especially with that Phoenix, the Phoenix rising, and even how I keep talking about the butterflies as transformation, like I was reading that in the Sun as well. So it's funny that that came out. I love tarot. Tarot is so awesome. Really feeling that as allowing yourself to transform, allowing yourself to completely release and let go of old beliefs, old thought patterns, old behavior patterns that are not in alignment with this joy and power, right? Like really loving, really aligned power, like aligned with God, with the divine, with the universe, with angels, like whatever resonates, right? It feels very aligned with that like pure love energy to me. So wielding your power in like a really positive, amazing way that like helps people, right? Brings more love to the world, brings more joy to the world, brings more freedom to the world. It feels very lovely. So I'm feeling that the Three of Cups as that bounty, that abundance of like love and friendship and things to be grateful for. And the Death card is just releasing everything from the past that's not this. So releasing everything that's out of alignment with that love, with that empowerment, and allowing yourself to be transformed and be made new. I don't know. I'd be curious to hear about this from you guys who are in this collective. For me, on my spiritual journey, I feel like surrendering to change has been one of the more difficult pieces for me lately. I say lately, it's probably always been like that. Is you have to really let go of control. When you're on a spiritual journey and you're doing your healing, you are constantly putting one foot in front of the other into brand new territory, right? Into like a new version of you, into a healed version of you, right? Just that constant like leveling up of the journey. Really just allowing yourself to transform, allowing that energy in and releasing anything that's out of alignment with that. That feels so amazing to me. This is really funny. It's reminding me of my friend who I was talking to earlier. So the Seven of Swords and the High Priestess. The High Priestess for me is very much like this deep inward energy. She is like absolutely a moon energy. So it's cool to get that as part of our full moon reading here. She would indicate kind of like I talk about on the healing journey, right? Almost like with the moon card, indicate kind of going deep within your soul, deep within your spiritual wisdom, really connecting to your intuition and to like the flow of the universe. I'm super drawn to the fact that this one has her as like a spider figure, and there's actually like a spider web in the background. That's really cool. What I'm feeling from that is this vibe of that we're all connected. I'm seeing in my mind's eye like fiber optic cables or like neural pathways in your brain, just like really like an energetic connected feeling. I hope that resonates. I'm not sure how else to describe that. A feeling of networks and like messages kind of shooting off and coming back, and data being transferred, messages being sent back and forth. It's interesting to get that energy, because the high priestess is not really a card of communication. It's the opposite. She's very like inward card. So what I'm actually feeling is that that's one, that's communication with yourself, and two, that's communication with spirit. So however that resonates for you, this is a great time of year to do like ancestor work and kind of spiritually reach out to your ancestors or folks who have passed away. It's a time of year where in like traditional pagan beliefs, we believe that the veil kind of between the worlds of the alive and those who have passed, the veil is kind of like thin. So it really facilitates that communication a lot more than other times of the year. So if that resonates for you, this could be an awesome time to do that kind of work. Otherwise, I really am feeling her as that inner work, just like even like nerve pathways within your body. It's just really cool. I just keep seeing all these like neural pathways with like the neurons shooting off as little beams of light. That's very beautiful. I'm grateful for that vision. That was neat. Let me feel the Seven of Swords for a minute, because there's a typical message that I seem to get for this card. I'm feeling it a little less heavy than I usually do, but it does feel like this energy of self-betrayal. So the Seven of Swords is an energy of kind of sneakiness, of not being honest. But I often read the self-betrayal aspect of it. Yeah, I really am feeling that. This guy, he's so majestic and so magical to me. And then he has this reflection here with like all these swords kind of jabbed into it, right? It's like a little bit muddy in the water, and he's completely missing like his beautiful magical antlers. And I always just feel that energy of that card of like you not seeing your divine self. The way that you see yourself if you're in this collective is this, as this muddy little dude with like not a lot of power, beauty, and he's got like all these swords stabbed in him. Whereas in like spiritual reality, you're this like glorious, magical, wonderful, beautiful like creature, right? That is to be like revered and honored. That's really cool. That plus the energy of the high priestess, I feel is you kind of going within and getting clear on yourself. So I wonder if I'm still just feeling that incoming messages energy. I wonder if you'll have like a dream, right? Or maybe you'll like space out while you're like watching a movie or something, and you'll hear like in your inner voice, you'll hear something that like your grandmother had said to you, who has passed away, but maybe she said something wonderful to you about something that's really special about you, right? Or amazing. And kind of hearing that voice, that communication, right? Like I was saying, that connectedness, right? And kind of connecting to something on like a psychic or subconscious level, that might bring you some healing around being able to see yourself clearly and see like what's really special about you. That's kind of what I feel. It's not even just some generic message of like, oh, you're great, but it'll be something really specific. Like maybe like someone who has said to you once, like, you are such a gifted artist, like make sure that you never stop doing that. Like I had a professor one time tell me that I'm a wonderful writer, and he's like, don't ever stop writing. You should be doing this for a living. Like something like that, where it's really kind of someone pointing out a gift to you that you have that's very special, and like encouraging you in that direction, right? And I think it will resonate for you as like, oh yeah, I remember that. Like, wow, I remember my so-and-so teacher from whenever told me I should never, like for me, told me I should never give up writing, and I don't do that very much anymore. But that's something that's a gift for me, right? That's something that is part of like my divinity, my true self, like who I am. That's a really cool message. That's a really cool message. I like that. I feel like the High Priestess and the Magician are like very linked in this, and I feel the Sun and the Three of Cups is very linked as well. That's really cool. I like that energy. All right, God, what advice do you have for folks in this collective for working with this full moon energy? Whoa. I find it interesting that they all just landed on the High Priestess. I'm curious what that's all about. The Eight of Wands. Ooh, okay, how fun is this? Because I was talking about this High Priestess and feeling that spider web as more of like fiber optic cables or like neurons firing or whatever. And I had talked too about this shooting star and the Magician, and I'm just feeling that same, like those bolts of light, like that movement of light is like really attractive to me. I feel like the lightning is reminding me of the Tower card, but not in yeah, just as that element of surprise, the suddenness, the aspect of suddenness. So not necessarily the destruction aspect, but just the suddenness of this movement, this beautiful, like I'm even hearing like if you can, I don't know, like a Disney cartoon, like the sound that these moving stars would make in like a Disney cartoon. That's such a lovely energy, but it definitely feels like that. I feel that in the Magician, and I feel that in the High Priestess, this movement of light. And again, really on what feels like an inner, like energetic and spiritual level. This movement of communication between you and spirit. And the Eight of Wands is that. It's a card of communication, and that's totally the vibe that I'm getting off of it. But it's like this magical communication. It's this magical communication. That's really cool. That's a cool energy. This is one of those readings where I'm like, I hope I'm in this collective. This feels neat. With the Princess of Pentacles, the Nine of Wands, and the King of Pentacles. That's interesting. So the Princess of Pentacles, the princess in this deck is the Page. The Page of Pentacles is like a really sweet energy that kind of has like its T's crossed and its I's dotted. It's pretty meticulous. It's pretty careful. It's pretty reliable, and it often comes with like a message or an offering. I'm super drawn to her. Like when I do my spiritual work, I always put my hand over my heart like that because it feels like giving my heart a sweet hug. So like anything around your heart chakra, doing heart chakra work, if that resonates for you. I'm also super drawn to this like star in her womb. So yeah, that's interesting. I mean, I don't know. I feel like I have my usual caveat, right? Where like this is a general reading, and I can't predict anybody's free will. What I'm getting from that star in her womb is just the idea of pregnancy. So that could resonate as physical pregnancy, or I feel it could resonate as that like abundance energy. It's bouncing off the Three of Cups for me with that like gratitude, right? Like, and we had that Seven of Pentacles before where she had all of the harvest kind of in front of her, right? Kind of like that, almost like an Empress energy, right? Where there's just a lot of abundance and harvest, and yeah, it feels like fertile. And that's kind of like the feeling of pregnancy, right? It could also be like with the Magician. I had talked about you as a manifester. So literally the process of like pregnancy and giving birth is like that creation process, right? Which is very similar, like energetically in a lot of ways, to the manifestation process. Giving birth to the idea, kind of nurturing the idea, and then it's born into like physical form. So that feels really cool. I love that card. I was also channeling, and this may resonate, I mean, this might even resonate for like one person, so who knows, but The King of Pentacles and the Princess of Pentacles is a father and daughter energy. So I was talking about kind of communing how this moon and this full moon is like supportive of communication with folks who have passed. I'm feeling that there's like a spirit communication that's being really supported in this moon energy. So if that resonates for you at all, where you're a daughter who's had a father who's passed or a father who's had a daughter that's passed, I just wonder if there might be like a message for you there, and you can even ask for it. So I would just speak to that person's spirit if that was me. Like, I don't know, this is like a kind of silly example, but well, maybe not so silly, but I have a dog that I love very much, and I had to put her to sleep just about a year ago. And I will sometimes tell her that I miss her. Like, I'll tell her spirit, like, I miss you. I would love to have a dream about you, or if you would visit me or something like that. And it doesn't always happen, but sometimes it does, and it's really sweet. So I feel like if that resonates for you, to speak to like a specific person or energy that you're looking for a message from, could be really supportive. I like that. This is interesting because I was going to talk about this earlier. The Nine of Wands, to me, I'm just feeling the energy of boundaries. So, I don't know. Sometimes, I mean, I've been on my spiritual path since I was a little kid and used to run around in the woods and talk to God by myself. Like, so a lot of this stuff is pretty familiar to me. If this is something that you want to try for like the first time, or you're not super familiar with working with spirit energies, I'm feeling called to say, like, make sure that you have appropriate boundaries. Like, your spiritual energy is very precious, and I don't believe that there are scary things that happen when we talk to spirits. Some people do believe that. So follow your own beliefs, use your own judgment, use your own discernment. If you are interested in learning how to do some of this, there's so many wonderful guided meditations online. You could look on YouTube. I mean, I feel like it's pretty easy to find ones that are like really good. And you could even just do like a sweet guided meditation. And that way you have someone who's kind of experienced talking you through it, kind of holding a safe space for you, helping you with boundaries and things like that. I like that. Yeah, that guy feels like very, I don't know, he's like decisive. He's like there and he showed up. I don't know how else to say the words to that. He just feels like boundaries, and that's like all that I can hear from him. So we're just going to let it be that. I love the Temperance card here on the bottom. I keep getting distracted when I'm talking, and then I'm like moving my hands and noticing the bottom cards. But I feel that it's similar to the transformation of the Death card. Yeah, that kind of alchemy and energy. I had talked about that in my reading last night too, that the Magician and the Temperance cards are both kind of like alchemy cards for me. Just those cards of transformation. Oh, that's funny. These guys fell. Okay. It's interesting that I was talking about pregnancy with the Princess of Pentacles, and these guys are, I mean, they're adults, right? This is a Devil card, but they look like they're in wombs, don't they? That's very interesting. Yeah, I feel like there's got to be at least one person listening to this reading who's pregnant. So that's just funny. The Devil, for me, he's about addiction and obsession. Okay, I'm getting this for sure. This is funny. Some of these cards are reminding me a lot of my reading last night, which I had a ton of fun pulling. So if that resonates for you, check it out. It was a really good one. The Devil for me is like that obsession, that fixation, like addiction energy, right? The Five of Cups is one that I had talked about quite a bit in my reading last night. So on the Five of Cups card, the way that most tarot decks portray it is it's the 3 cups that have spilled and the 2 cups that are upright. So in this energy, this person is like fixating on what has been lost. This is really resonating off the Death card for me, and these 2 upright cups are really resonating off the 3 of Cups. So it's that similar energy of transformation and allowing the past to just be released. and moving forward with your healing, right? So this is someone who is fixated on the past, is fixated on the lost. The loss, not the lost. I can English. The way that this is resonating for me with that death card is this would be someone, like from my spiritual transformation example, this would be someone who is so fixated on like mourning the past that they're like stuck in that depression and that sadness, that feeling of loss, and they're just not able to move forward. But I always get the feeling of like what is meant to be yours is going to be yours. Like it's yours in spiritual truth. You can't lose it. All that's being washed away here is the illusions of like who you thought you were, right? Who you thought you were supposed to be. Maybe patterns that you had picked up from your parents or like a former relationship that you were in or something like that. But they're not really you, and they're not aligned with your true divine self or with your highest good. So that's why those things are leaving. And I'm so drawn again. I love the butterfly symbolism, and even the rainbows reminding me of the Temperance card. These 2 cups are what you have to move forward with. And it's beautiful. And like you can create everything from that, right? Look how beautiful this energy is. So it's just losing the things that were never you to begin with and moving forward and having more space within your consciousness, within your energy, within your mind, even like your brain, right? Your thoughts, clearing out all those things that were never meant to even be yours and allowing this beautiful energy in. And the Prince of Swords, that's the Knight of Swords energy. I just feel him coming in with that sword of truth, like this decisive warrior, and slicing through this energy. So anywhere that you're feeling stuck, sad, depressed, mopey, clinging to the past, this energy is just coming in. I just feel that clarity and that slicing. Like I love the swords cards sometimes. They feel so awesome to me because they're really cutting through this crap. And they're really cutting through this crap. And I say that with love because this energy is very difficult. This is not a great energy. But I just feel him coming in and going slice and like slicing through it, right? And kind of setting you free. I think that's the reason why I use that word crap is like it's trapping you. This energy, this Devil and 5 of Cups is keeping you stuck in almost like an addiction to sadness. Or like that fixation, that obsession energy, obsessing over the past, obsessing over what you lost, instead of seeing the beautiful things that you have. I feel like it's tying back to what I said about gratitude. Instead of being grateful for the beautiful gift of these 2 cups, this person is mourning the loss of these 3 cups, which were never even aligned with them. So this guy's going to help you get clear. This energy, I feel that I like this as the full moon energy, especially at this time of year. So I don't know if this will resonate for everyone, but where I live, it's cold. We got a lot of snow like last week. So the night is cold and it's that crisp, clear, like sharp, wintry air, right? When it gets down around like the freezing point and it just has like this crispness and like edge to the air. That's how I feel this card. And it's making me think of that, like the full moon on a cold night and how crisp that feels and how crisp and clean the edges of the moon are, and the moonlight just beaming and creating like these crisp, defined shadows everywhere. And like, I really am feeling that. I feel like this energy is going to give you a lot of clarity around this energy so that you can transform this obsession and fixation and addiction to the sadness. You can transform that into that gratitude, into recognizing your abundance, into the glory, the happiness, the joy of like uplifting your success and the good things that you have. I love that energy. This is really cool. I feel it makes me want to do a guided meditation, which was not something I was planning on this evening, but this is really cool. I have an ancestor. I did my ancestor tree or whatever, and I traced it back to my last ancestor who lived in Ireland. And I love working with her. She's really cool. So I feel called to call her in. We're going to pull whatever Moonology cards want to come out, and then we'll wrap it up here. But I hope you guys get a chance to go out and see the moon. It's very beautiful. Do you have any other messages here for this collective, God? What else do you want to say for this full beaver moon in Taurus here in November? That's interesting. You don't want to say anything. Somebody does. I feel like I want. We'll try the angel numbers. So the Moonology deck did not want to speak to me. That's funny. I had picked that one out even before the reading. I think whenever I do moon readings, I just like to have Moonology. You know what I just felt? I'm totally not going to get it because I don't know how to pause my video and then restart it. But there's like another Moonology deck. So this is a Moonology Oracle cards, but I think it's like Moonology Manifestation. I got that flash in my head. Oh, wow, that one's really chatty. Okay. Anyways, that one's in the other room. Ooh, okay, these are fun ones. 9999, lesson learned. Culmination, results, benefits, reflection, completion. Take stock of your accomplishments and how you arrived at them. This is a reminder to maintain optimism and drive towards your goals. Maintain your momentum and know that the powers of heaven have your back. You made it and the reward goes to you. That's sweet. I like that. I feel like what's sticking out to me the most is that optimism, right? And it's saying, take stock of your accomplishments is making me feel like that energy of focusing on the good, right? Focusing on the things that you have accomplished. Really receiving that. Like if you're in this collective and you do get this message or this connection from spirit kind of around like a gift or a talent that you have, I feel like the message of like, take it seriously. Yeah, I feel like take it seriously. Like it feels like a big deal. Then as always, I'll caveat again, like use your judgment, use your discernment. That energy feels very strong for me from the cards. So we have 8888, personal power, material and spiritual abundance, wealth, resources, force, balance, confidence, material gain, epic romance. All that is good and pleasant in your life will multiply. Angels are sending the number to reassure you of the prosperity and well-being ahead. Your surroundings will treat you with admiration and respect. Use it for the greater good. That's really beautiful. That's really beautiful. I feel like that empowerment energy, again, is going back to like the high priestess, the magician, the sun, and really being able to see yourself clearly as like the divine being that you are with the Seven of Swords. Even just like with the Death card, like your personal power of transformation. This Devil in the Five of Cups is an illusion for you to see through, right? And the Prince of Swords energy is really helping you to get clear on that. But I'm feeling that like this is within your power. You are not a victim here. You can just make a new choice. You can say like, God, I choose to release this energy of like depression and pessimism, right? I choose to call in my transformation. I choose to be my divine self. Like making choices is so powerful. And I'm really feeling that like you are not a victim here. And it's saying all that's good and pleasant in your life will multiply. It's making me think of this. This card has so much abundance. She feels to me like the Empress, being surrounded by this beauty and this abundance. And like I was talking about before, that energy of pregnancy, right? Of ripening, and this sort of your manifestations and your creations like ripening and then coming to fruition. That's an awesome energy. I also just felt it's totally resonating off of the zapping 8 of Wands. Okay, the energy of that card for me, I don't know if you guys have ever been around horses, but when I was a kid, I used to take horseback riding lessons for a couple of years, and they have electric fences, right? And being zapped by them is very unpleasant. And I'm sure anyone who has been around horses before has experienced this. But there's a buzzing. If you're close to the fence, you can like feel the energy on your skin without even touching it. It's just like I don't know how to describe it. It's like a vibrating feeling of the energy. And then you can kind of hear like the hum and the buzz of the electric fence. And this feels like electric fence energy to me, but like in a really awesome way, not like in a I'm gonna zap you and hurt you way, but just that zap of electricity and sort of like the aliveness of it. So cool. All right. Well, that feels very complete to me. I hope that this was helpful. Please feel free to like, share, subscribe, leave me a comment if you wish, as all of those things help me as I'm growing my channel, and I hope to see you in my next reading. Bye.